And welcome to the David Tomsic Show, fighting tyranny one day at a time. Well, my friends, we're in trouble in America, and we are facing economic Armageddon, I truly believe, from the policies of this President Donald Trump. Now, as you know, he's been tariffing people since he got into office, and as of April 2nd, more tariffs are going to be levied on countries. No, I have no idea where, when, and how. I have no idea if he'll change his mind. This is kind of the nature of Donald Trump. Erratic. Of course, this is not good for the markets. Now, right now, the market's opening. The Dow Index down 200. S&P 500 Index down 65. NASDAQ Index down 378. Okay, so as you know, the market's been taking a beating. This is because of uncertainty. Now, those of you that know a little bit about the markets, they like certainty. That's how people invest. So right now, a lot of folks are saying, I don't really want to be in the market. A lot of big investors are pulling their money out of the U.S. markets and placing it elsewhere. Probably a smart idea. They can afford to do that. So what's going on? Well, as you know, tariffs are a tax. Now, most of those people that follow me, that watch me, I appreciate you, understand this already. Now, I know there's still people that don't. They've asked me and my family members, what's this tariff? What is he actually doing? So I'm going to be more specific to those of you that are new. The tariff is a tax on you. Yes, on you. Now, granted, the people who actually buy the products that come in from another country will have to pay that tax on that particular product. Whether they let it actually be put on the item you're going to buy or not is up to them. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they hold off as long as they can to add it to the price of the product when it gets to market. But how long can that happen? So I guarantee you that most of these companies that sell these products that are tariffed will have to add that amount of money, that 25%, that 10%, that 15% on the cost of the item that you're going to pay, that you're going to buy. That causes inflation. That causes a problem for the average family. But remember, Donald Trump does not care about the average family. Does not. I think people who believe in him somehow don't see that, don't wish to see that. They live in their own little confirmation bias world. I get a lot of trolls that send me comments, and it's sad how uninformed they are. It's sad how lost they are. It's sad how they really live in a land that doesn't exist. But they do it, and some do it because they're paid to do it. Some do it because they just don't know any better. And for those people that always want to tend to go back to Joe Biden, and there's a couple of people that do that I know, that comment. Joe Biden's not president. The issues we face right now, none of them are connected to Joe Biden. None of them. These are specific conditions and policies created by Donald Trump, not Joe Biden. So guess what, troll? Don't bother texting me. Don't bother commenting about Joe Biden anymore. He is no longer in the equation. Sorry, he's no longer president. I've digressed a little bit. So these tariffs are bad. They're bad for the world. We're now in a global trade war. This will only escalate. This will only cause more uncertainty. These tariffs could cause more and more economic hardship, not just for us, but other people around the world, mostly poorer people. These tariffs can lead to and ignite a recession as job losses accumulate and go up, as GDP goes down, as inflation goes up. All these things negatively affect the economy. Duh. But most people who are, say, supporters of Donald Trump somehow are happy with this. They're glad to see it. They're glad to see people who's spent their lives working as a federal employee doing their job are fired. They enjoy this. These are the type of people we're dealing with. So right off the bat, there's not a lot of credibility that you can have with these people that follow him. Those of you that do not, you pretty much know the truth now. We're in trouble. So I got an article here, and it is from MSN. President Donald Trump says Wednesday he will have Liberation Day, a moment when he plans to roll out a set of tariffs that he promises will free the United States from foreign goods. Them terrible foreign goods. The details of Trump's next round of import taxes are still sketchy. As I mentioned, uncertainty abounds here. Here's an excerpt from this article. The details of Trump's next round of import taxes are still sketchy. Once again, confusion, chaos, uncertainty. Most economic analysts say average U.S. families would have to absorb the cost of the tariffs in the form of higher prices and lower incomes. That's what you want, right? That's going to help you all the way around. This next article, again from CNN, recession odds are rising as Trump's trade war escalates, Goldman Sachs says. According to Goldman Sachs, the U.S. economy faces a growing risk of a recession as surging tariffs threaten to stunt growth, reignite inflation, and lift unemployment, according to Goldman Sachs. The Wall Street Bank warned clients Sunday night that it now sees a 35% chance of a recession in the next 12 months, up from 20% previously. Goldman Sachs also increased its inflation estimates, slashed its 2025 GDP forecast to just 1%, 1%, and bumped up its year-end unemployment rate outlook by 0.3% to 4.5%. So what Goldman Sachs and other basically analysts from other companies are saying that recession fears are increasing, inflation is going up, GDP is going down, and guess what? Employment is going down and unemployment's going up. So we have a major storm here, basically a major possibility of a downturn in our economy that's going to cost billions of dollars, lose hundreds of thousands of jobs, and of course cost everybody more and more money through inflation. GDP growth at 1%. This is being generous, I believe. Other economists have stated that they believe GDP will go negative in the first quarter 2025. Now, I don't know that that's true. The first quarter is going to be done, of course, today. We'll get the numbers out early next week and see what GDP was for the first quarter of 2025. Probably it's not going to be great. So how does all these numbers that Goldman Sachs and others are basically forecasting affect you? What does that do to you? Well, right off the bat, uncertainty rules. Uncertainty is never good. Now, if you're a business and you're going to hire people and there's this much uncertainty, you might not hire anybody. You might hire half the people you wanted to hire. If you're going out and you want to start a business, you may say, I can't afford to start a business because inflation's too high. The products I want to sell, I cannot sell because they're too expensive. People won't buy them. If you're an employer and you might say to yourself, I need to cut costs, the easiest thing to cut is personnel. They will lay off. More and more people will get laid off in the private sector. And as the idiots at Doge continue to lay off tens of thousands of government workers, this will only increase unemployment from the government sector of the economy. We're going to be hammered from both sides, friends. Now, the government sector is needed. The government does supply a lot of money and puts a lot of money into the economy. Once that stops, there will be a ripple effect there as well. So there's a lot of issues here, friends, a lot of issues. People are going to get laid off. Things are going to get more costly. There's going to be chaos. And there's already people looking to the 2026 elections and realize that Donald Trump's party, the Republicans, might just get hammered there. Here in Pennsylvania, there was a district that Donald Trump won by 57%. This was a Republican Senate seat. We just had an election in that district, and the Democrat won by double digits. This is not good for Donald Trump. This is not good for the Republican Party. I believe the 2026 election could be devastating for the Republican Party if things don't change. People are turning against Donald Trump's policies by the thousands. And we'll see how that goes. But for now, friends, I warn you, be prepared for a downturn. Buy what you need now. I always tell people to prepare for the worst, to be a prepper at heart, to buy items you need right now and store them, in case prices go so high you won't be able to afford it at a later date. I tell people to prepare also because you never know when there might be shortages. These tariffs could cause shortages of products that are coming from other countries, products we don't make here. There could be a lull in being able to resupply your stores. There's a 3-day supply of food in stores. Be ready now. I also tell people to have cash available, to be prepared to protect yourself. These are things you all need to know. Things are getting crazy. There are people angry on both sides of the political spectrum. Anger is never good and can always turn into riots, can turn into assaults. Be prepared. Remember, peace is always best. And I always try to echo the words of Jesus. Love those that hate you, but always be prepared to protect you and your family as well. Listen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Help us grow our channel. I also want to highlight that we have a new channel, Nights Around the Fire. Basically, if you like mysteries, myths, and legends, it's the channel for you. It's hosted by me and Ashley Hamilton. I have a link in the description box to get you to that channel. Outside of this, God bless you, and I'll see you next time right here on The David Thompson Show.